nice to see you guys again.
Oh, it's great to see you. You're doing some amazing work out there.
To hear.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we've been staying busy and trying to just progress this whole thing, and we're gonna try different things and keep on the edge of the healing, the natural healing, the do-it-yourself healing. I'm calling it do-it-yourself natural healing, right?
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, we're gonna have our own show, like Tool Time or something.
I love it.
Yeah.
Get a couple comedy writers. We have a lot of comedy in this business, don't we?
Yeah, we have to.
It's so funny. Speaking of that, this just came up, but have you guys been over at the Master Fast board on Facebook?
I'm over there some, yes. I do try to do some of Gino's live. I've watched one or two of his live shows.
But people ask questions about your poop like it's no big deal. They want
yeah.
to know about it. And then I started doing the Master Fast, and they were asking for pictures, begging for pictures. I'm like, no, I'm not putting pictures of my poop on a public forum.
Oh, come on, Mark. I've been doing it daily, man.
You're probably the one. Yeah, you're probably the one who's trying to get me to do it. But people are just putting it up there like it's nothing, big blonde 3-foot strands of mucoid plaque. Like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What amazed me most about mucoid plaque is you can tell what part of the intestine it comes out of.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
By the shape.
It's like a Play-Doh fun factory or something.
Yeah. Now, I would assume that when you look at that too, you can see if there's a bowel pocket. Because it follows that shape, right? And when it comes out,
I don't want to get gross, but I had it come out. It looked like a string of hot dogs. You know how the hot dogs?
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were perfectly encapsulated.
Yeah. Hey, we're poopologists here.
Yeah. So excited to hear about what this was for you. This new doing the Master Fast, and I know that you had mentioned on one of your videos that you had you broke your fast, but not in a very good way.
Yeah, I got spanked. I did 44 days. I went to 44 on the master fast, and the first week was really, really difficult. I was drinking upwards of a gallon of juice. I was so hungry. And just everything was resetting. I just felt like my blood sugars were all over the place, and things like that. But I did it just to talk about it, you guys. I didn't think I needed it. I go, man, I've been raw. I've cleansed a lot, done a lot of herbs. Really taken care of myself. I figured, well, let's just go ahead and do a week or two of this, and just so I can talk about it legitimately with people. And by day 3, I was kicking up so much acids in my hips and my thighs and my knees. I was in intense pain, and I got the board over there is really good. A lot of really experienced people. They said, go get a rolling pin. So I went to the dollar store. I got a plastic rolling pin for rolling out dough, and started rolling my legs, and that helped. But I could not believe that I was kicking up acids that quick. And then by day 8, I was just getting rid of mucoid plaque, and I think by day 3 or 4, what was coming out of me, I just have to call a bubbling crude. It was a black sludge. It was foul. And I'm going, that was in me?
Right.
So I guess just being high fruit, high raw is just not enough. And man, I learned my lessons. And yeah, breaking the fast, I learned a big lesson because I broke it with some smoothies, fruit smoothies, and got away really well. And then the next day was Thanksgiving. I was with my family. There are like 12 or 14 of us, and my daughter's vegan, and she made some vegan side dishes, some mashed potatoes and stuffing and some green beans, and I was nibbling on that and feeling pretty good. But then, I was given a small piece of apple pie, and I go, okay, I'm going to have a few bites of this. What's that going to do, right? And that hit me so hard, you guys. I guess that the cooked apples were acidic. And maybe the dough on there just nailed me. I was up pretty much all night with acid reflux and indigestion, and woke up the next morning feeling, kind of hungover. So, yeah, I don't recommend breaking it with cooked food, at least for a week or so. So you live and you learn, right?
That's part of the experience. You got to celebrate that stuff.
Did you think
I got
about
sucked into the vortex though of the family food, so But I thought if I nibbled, I would be okay. But I crossed the lines, with the apple pie. So, but it was a great experience, you guys. It was. I couldn't believe a lot of things. I couldn't believe that you can live on juice, especially cooked grape juice, and the lemons.
Right. That was huge for me too, to know that you were doing that.
How long did you go, Gary, when you did it? Or have you done
I haven't done the Master Fast yet. I'm on day 3 of a 15-day Master Cleanse. Then I'm going to take some time to get back into the groove. I'm filming it so that I can do a program.
Great.
So the Master Fast and herbal tea too.
You're doing the lemon juice and the cayenne pepper and the maple syrup.
Right, with turmeric in it.
Okay, all right, good.
Okay. And a little black pepper for the to help drive the turmeric.
Okay, so are you battling anything? Are you trying to heal anything specific? Are you doing it just as an overall detox?
I know my body needs it because I'm feeling off. I'm feeling very lethargic, but a while back I did a really intense fast with lymphatic 5. I went from no lymphatic to lymphatic 5, and my right knee, when you talk about knee pain, man. It was unbelievable. And my left knee a little bit, but my right knee was the one that got banged up in the accident. So
that's a heavy-duty lymph puller. That's got the poke root in it and the chaparral and all that. Yeah, that's like the flyers of lymphatic pullers.
Well, it like really kicked my butt, that's for sure. And it's still that way. It's been months. So I'm doing this, so hopefully I can start moving that out gently. I drink at least either Master Cleanse or Master Fast or and herbal teas all day, every day.
Okay. Yeah.
And I have a meal, sometimes 2. I was really careful this year at Thanksgiving, and I'm going to be really careful at Christmas, but with family, so you know how it goes.
Oh yeah, they can bring you right into it.
Oh yeah. And
there's just so much. One thing I learned while doing this long fast, the longest fast I've ever done, was that food is really comforting. There's so many so many psychological attachments to it and emotional attachments to it that I just remember when I first started doing the Master Fast, I'd wake up in the morning and feel so lonely, like there's nothing to do, there's nothing to prepare, there's no fruit to cut, there's just nothing.
Yep.
So it's just what do we do now?
You go surfing, right?
Yeah. That kicked in after about 10 days. Yeah, I didn't feel like surfing for the first probably 10 days, but then the energy came in, and maybe Gino's right that we start to access the the chi or the prana or I guess he calls it plasma field, for energy, but the energy was coming from somewhere. It's just hard. It's hard to believe. It really, truly is. It's really funny too, is they're like, oh God, you have so much respect for you. You're like Hercules and all this. I mean, no, it's really not that big a deal. And in fact, I'm really adjusting myself post-fast to just eating lighter. Even the heavier smoothies are getting me. I've backed off on the banana and just things like that. It's just, eating the lighter foods is just so much more beneficial for us, I think. And food is way overrated, you guys.
Yeah, well, it's very sedative, sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And just like you said with food, with enemas, or I'm sorry, with like doing the fasting, and people are like, oh yeah, you're just amazing, and that I could never do that. And I hear people say that with the whole enema thing too. It's like they get so scared, they think it's this big, ginormous, terrible thing, and it's like, you guys, it's like routine, like you just jump in and you do it, and then you realize it's not a big deal, and you realize how you feel, and you want more of that.
Yeah, I had to get used to the whole enema thing too on this. I broke a lot of boulders this.
Yeah.
But you do, like Angie says, you get reliant on those enemas because you have to move the bowels every day, and then when you start feeling lethargic or toxic or headachy and all that, you do an enema and you feel so much better. And yeah, that was really that's a real lifesaver. Those when you're fasting for sure. Wow.
Now, I have a question for you, Mark.
Yeah.
Do you think that because like 60% of our energy goes to digest our food, when we're doing the grape juice, we're not only cleansing our body, but that 60% gets to go out into the body to give us more energy?
Right.
I agree. I was getting up at 3:45 in the morning. My body did not need as much sleep, and I was basically wide awake. And at first I had to figure out what to do with myself because I couldn't just lay there waiting for 5 or 6 o'clock to come around. So I just started doing meditations and breath work and spiritual readings, things like that until the sun came up. And yeah, it's amazing the amount of energy you have. And like I did in my videos talking about the surfing, it was, wow, at first, can I even do this? Can I even, we had a couple of big swells come in. I'm going, can I even paddle out? Will I have the energy? Will I have the strength to even get into the waves? And it was all good. It was like nothing was even, like I was just, on my regular diet. And the water was cold. It's down in the sub 60s now, 58, 59, and that's really cold. So was I going to be able to still have the body heat to to stay in there? But that was all fine. So yeah, lots more energy, absolutely.
How was your endurance?
Endurance was the same.
Was the same?
Yeah. I don't think anything really was different other than I had more energy. I would say, take that back. I would say that my overall strength was waning because I wasn't doing any kind of, no push-ups and no, well, maybe a few push-ups, but no weight training or anything like that. I didn't want to create any acids. So my strength was waning back. And, I don't know. I think that, doing a long-term, master fast, could really pull your strength back. But, I would do a modified master fast with maybe some green drinks in the afternoon, or adding some kind of a superfood powder, once or twice a day. I think that would be really good, and I could probably go the 108 days.
So can we back up just a little bit, because I know that there's people out there who are like, "What are you guys talking about?" Because they don't know what this is.
True.
Can you just
true.
give a little synopsis of what it is, what it entails?
Okay, so the Master Fast was developed by Gino DeSorio, and he's 27 years in the fasting, game, and he's done all kinds of fasts. And so he designed this as what he says is the most powerful system he's come across. And basically, his theory is that you actually take processed grape juice. Okay, now, I'm a Dr. Moore's disciple, as you guys are, and we're like, oh, no. We want raw living live food. And I had a real problem with that. And people that I actually met at Dr. Morse's level 2 training out in Florida in early October were saying, no, Mark, give this a try. You won't believe the power of this. I know the pasteurized cooked thing is against your philosophy, but just give this a try. So you take the processed grape juice and you combine that with raw lemon juice, 1 or 2 lemons per quart of processed grape juice. You can get Welch's or organic is better in a glass bottle. I was getting it at Trader Joe's, and I was getting, in the beginning, I was getting a lot of grape juice, a gallon and a half for $6.50 at Costco, the Newman's Own. And that was in a plastic jar, and it was not organic, so a little less quality. But anyway, so you combine those two together, and what Gino says is you create a plasma field interaction. The cooked and the raw work together to form some kind of energetic interaction, which causes the healing power and the cleansing power to be potentiated. Much like what you're doing, Gary, by adding the black pepper to the turmeric.
Okay.
It's sort of an alchemical reaction, if you will.
Right.
So, and then you do at least 12 hours of dry fasting every night. So dry fasting is consuming nothing, no liquids, no herbs, not even brushing your teeth, not even taking a shower, nothing, no enemas, nothing. So no water coming into the body in any way. And you do that for at least 12 hours every night. And then once a week, you do anywhere from 24 to 36. Some are doing 48 hours once a week. And some people are going, 20, 22 hours dry fasting every night. So they only have a 2, 3, 4 hour eating window. Mm-hmm. Okay, so and then you're doing the herbs. You're basically doing something equivalent to a Dr. Morse kidney number one tincture, which is just kind of cleansing the kidneys out with the herbs. And then you're doing a lymphatic tincture, and then you're doing a adrenal glandular tincture, and then he recommends a GI broom tincture. So he likes tinctures because, again, you're going to combine the raw tinctures, because the tinctures are never heated. They're just taking alcohol or glycerin to extract the constituents of the herbs. Mm-hmm. And then you're combining that with a cooked tea, a cooked kidney tea. And he likes the Bell's kidney tea. I was doing my Javana tea, which has a lot of kidney herbs in it. So the cooked, again, combined with the raw, creating that plasma field interaction. And the power of the herbs, especially during a dry fast, is really, really strong. So you're doing some real strong cleansing. And the kidney filtration that you achieve on this is really, really fabulous. And then there's one more element to it, and that's called psyllium pudding. And the psyllium pudding is basically psyllium husk, which is a whole lot of fiber, combined with bentonite clay and activated charcoal. It's a formula. I have the formula up on my website and how to make it. I have a little video how to do it. And then you do 2 to 4 tablespoons of that mixed in grape juice. And I wasn't waiting for it to form the pudding, because it will expand into a large amount of pudding. Not really pudding, but this concoction. And but I was just putting a tablespoon into some juice, a little bit of juice, mixing it up real quick and slamming it back, and doing that a couple times. I settled on about 2 tablespoons of this, and not letting it expand before I got it down into my stomach. And then drinking the juice on top of that. Now this provides just an incredible amount of fiber, and the charcoal and the clay really pull the toxins out of the bowel wall. This is where we really need to work, is not just, flushing the waste, accumulated waste out of the bowels. It's getting actually into the bowel wall to pull the toxicity out of that. So we clean the acids and get the lymph moving in the bowel wall. Because if we don't do that, then we get bowel deterioration, which leads to polyps and so-called Crohn's disease, irritable bowel syndrome, bowel resections, all that horrible stuff. So absolutely amazing. And of course, then the enemas too, to help you with that. And so that's it. That's the whole program.
With the fiber, if people have trouble with fiber, is that going to be an issue for them?
Yeah, it has been, and they have to work up to it. Start slow, see where you are. I mean, yeah, if you're real blocked up, you don't want to do 4 tablespoons of the psyllium pudding right off the bat. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, with everything, you guys, you're responsible for your own healing. You got to steer the course. Do your testing. It's always best to go in slow than hot. So especially with the psyllium pudding and the herbs and all that kind of stuff. And the dry fasting, you got to work your way up to these things. You don't want to just jump in with a 24-hour, 36-hour dry fast. I mean, not everybody's ready for that. And just being on grape juice and lemons is so super powerful that, I mean, I have clients, you get them off just dairy, and they start going into a detox, or they start giving up grains and meat, and they're going right into detox without even the fruit. So, everybody's different. They've got to, just kind of, tiptoe in, get a foot in and see how you feel, and then keep progressing up.
Especially since they don't know their toxicity load.
Absolutely. You don't know it until you try it.
You start breaking stuff loose faster than your body's ready to eliminate it. You're going to have
yeah.
some issues. You're going to have a healing crisis, what you're going to have.
Yeah. Yeah, they see me do a 44 and they say, "Oh, he made it sound like it's really easy."
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long have you
Mark,
been?
way to mislead people.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
How long have you been on the detox journey?
Well, as you guys know, I had fibromyalgia, and I started, about 15 years ago on the sort of self-healing journey. It's really funny. I was always, even as a kid, I just didn't like doctors. There must have been something in a past life. I just always felt creepy around them. I hated hospitals. I hated the smell of them. I just never wanted to go. So yeah, when I finally started to get my fibromyalgia, when I was just stiffening up like crazy, and I wasn't surfing, I wasn't skiing, yeah, it just was too painful to do all that stuff. So I got on the warpath there, and I unfortunately was playing around with the Atkins diet, the high protein diet, which really shuts the kidneys down.
Right.
Super acidic diet, the worst thing you can do for your body, in my opinion, diet wise. But I got the message to give up the gluten, the dairy and the grains, and that was gigantic for me. So I guess you could call that the start of my detoxification. And then I just started learning more and more and more. Learned about the raw and all that. I got introduced to Dr. Morse about 3 years ago, and that of course took it to a much higher level.
Mm-hmm.
And now I honestly think you guys, getting introduced to the fasting ideas is really a great addition to Dr. Morse. I believe in the Dr. Morse protocols. I believe in his herbs. His herbs are fantastic. But I believe that if we can start giving the body a rest from digestion on a daily basis, and then once a week on a more extended basis, a day or a day and a half, that we really potentiate the healing of detoxification. I think it's an upgraded detox.
Yeah, definitely.
And I have not experimented. My next experiment is going to be with raw grape juice, with raw lemons, and everything the same as the master fast, but not to pasteurize, and see how I do on that. And then report back to everybody on how I'm doing with that way of doing it.
That's good, because
lemons, or you're going to do lemons and grape, just not processed grapes.
Yeah, just not pasteurized grapes. Just make my own grape juice every morning.
Mm-hmm.
And just see what that's about. And Marcy over at Dr. Morse's office said that she had done them both, and that they were both very powerful. And Gino has written me and said that he believes that the pasteurized is much more powerful, but definitely try it on your own, and you be the judge. But it's his experience that the pasteurized raw lemon blend is the most powerful that he's come across.
Yeah, definitely want to know what your experience is going to be with that. Can't wait to see
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has something to do with the plasma in the grape juice, doesn't it?
Yeah. Do you know about plasma, Gary?
Well, it's what we get from the sun, right?
Is that it? Yeah, I don't know anything about it. I got to study more. I mean, I've done some research on YouTube, and there's some people like a guy named Dan Winter. The guy's such a genius. I can't even follow him for 5 minutes. He's already way outside of my vocabulary. Right. So I've got to get a dictionary and look up the words before I can figure out what the guy's saying. But
plasma is what the sun gives to the plants. It generates cell energy.
Okay.
All right. Now, he says there's more plasma in pasteurized grape juice than there is in organic live grape juice.
That's what he's saying.
That's what he's saying. It's for some reason the process of pasteurizing it increases it.
Yes.
It is energy, and you can't kill energy, right?
Yeah, no, that's true.
You can.
So how is that different than with cooking your food, if you're doing that to the grapes?
Well, that is the issue that I think Mark and I both have, is how can it be more powerful than live food?
Yeah, that's where I'm at with that as well. So,
yeah, you look online, and if you Google a word called ayahuasca, ayahuasca is a jungle tea. You know, they've been drinking for thousands of years in the Amazon, and it's supposed to be the most potent psychedelic in the world, right?
Yeah,
And they cooked it.
I just did that.
You did the ayahuasca.
We went to Colombia.
Oh, wow, we got to talk about this. Fantastic. But
Yeah.
so they cook this stuff for days at a super high heat. They pound the heck out of it. They get the vines and pound it for days. And still this stuff, knocks you, it's unbelievably powerful. So does cooking destroy? I don't know. It's alchemical. And I mean, obviously the power, as Gary will tell you, and I've done it too, the power is there.
So maybe it's more so what is getting cooked. It's the product, because as we know, the grapes have all of those beneficial qualities to them. So when we're cooking other things like, the meats and other things, maybe that's more the issue, is it's what we're cooking.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
There's still a million questions for us to research and experiment with.
We're dead.
But one thing, you guys, is that obviously nutrition was not a factor. So, okay, so we're cooking the heck out of this grape juice, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm operating at a super high level, obviously, from a lot of fructose, fruit sugar, and a lot of the cleansing. But you would think that would just destroy the nutrition, and I would just wither away into nothing. But I lost probably 10, 12 pounds in the beginning, which was probably just a lot of built up mucus and trapped water, just to protect myself from the latent acids. And that was it. I wasn't losing weight. I was holding just fine. So obviously nutrition was not a factor. I was certainly getting some nutrition out of the herbs. But it was not a nutrition issue whatsoever. So,
I know that, and I'd love to see this with the Master Fast too, but if you do the Master Cleanse and you're anorexic, you'll gain weight. Because what they're doing is they're seeking balance in the body. So they're giving hydration and nutrients, right? And if you're undernourished, it will regenerate your body.
Not so much that you're going to do the Master Fast, though, and you're anorexic. Is it? I wouldn't think that, because you typically aren't going to gain on Master Fasting.
Well, you're going to clean. I was cleaning mucoid plaque out of my body even a couple days after breaking the fast. So I'm cleaning all of this toxic sludge out of the body. I'm getting much more absorption.
Absolutely.
So someone who's anorexic is, they could be gaining more weight because they're going to absorb more.
Yes, that is the whole idea, is your body seeking balance, so they are actually rehydrating and renutrifying their body. I lost 20 pounds when I did 10 days.
Wow.
I'm on day 3 right now. I'm going to do 15, take a break, and do 15 Master Fast.
It seems to be that this is the way everything's going. I mean, Gino's board over there is blowing up, he said. I mean, so many people are coming to it. And, there's a lot of talk about fasting at Dr. Morse's. When I was there for the training, a few months ago, I mean, so many people were talking about it. It was a lot of questions were coming up. It was being addressed all over the place. And Dr. Morse was really embracing it. He's such an amazing soul because, he is adaptable. He's changeable. He's not set in his ways. And he understands that probably humanity is ready for fasting now. We've upgraded ourselves to the point where we're really embracing more and more fasting. And he's certainly welcoming it. I don't know what his stance is on the pasteurized grape juice. I'd love to hear his opinion on that. So he might say, nah, just stay raw. I know that when he has, in his videos, he's always talking about, well, when we get the real tough cases neurologically or with the so-called cancer, that immediately it's a 40-day grape fast, grape and lemon combination immediately with the herbs and the protocols. So, certainly he's behind, the grape and lemon idea. But the plasma stuff, I haven't heard him address it. So, if you guys ever interview him, that's definitely going to be a question.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. I'll have to write that down because I plan on interviewing him again at some point.
That'd be great. And when I was there, we had 71 healers in the group, right, getting the level 2 training with Dr. Morse every day for a week. He was there every day, just pounding the information out at us. And there was a gentleman sitting in the audience, and he had his eyes closed, and he just sat there breathing real slowly, never picked up a pencil, right? And almost in a meditation. And I had to meet him, and so I introduced myself, and he said, "Yeah, my name is Gabrielis." And I said, "Oh, you're the guy that whose parachute didn't open." He says, "Yeah, that's me."
Right.
And we talked, and Dr. Morse got him on the protocols and got him up walking. Just an absolute miracle on the high grapes and all that. And he said, "Mark," he says, "the amount of healing that's coming into me now is unbelievable. It's coming in when I'm fasting, when I'm dry fasting, having nothing."
Yes.
He's doing days at a time. He said, "This particular trip, I carried my suitcase, 40-pound suitcase up to my room. And if he didn't tell me that he was paralyzed at one point, I would have never known. I would have never, ever known."
I met him at level 1. Amazing guy.
Isn't he an amazing guy? And we just went right into talking spiritual ideas and all that. He's just such an open, incredible person. So, and then I met Max DePro there, who's also, I guess he's did a lot of logistics behind the Master Fast system. He was telling me about the dry fasting as well, and the grape juice fasting. So, yeah, it was amazing. Just fasting was really part of the consciousness out there, and that's why I decided to do it.
Excellent. Yeah, that's something I'm starting to extend my dry fast during this Master Cleanse fast. Yes. So I'm drinking less and giving my body more time to dry fast. I'm trying to do right now 12 hours nothing. And then I'll sip a little bit, and I'll have that carry me through. Because I haven't been hungry yet. A little bit last night, but not really hungry. And I just drink more juice. But I'm trying to build myself up to do a full day of zero. No water, no nothing.
Yeah. And I did 36 hours is my longest. And it's great. Yeah, it's really great, but really lonely. You got nothing to do, nothing to prepare.
Everything in the world is based on food.
And going to bed hungry is such a weird feeling, to go to bed hungry. I know a lot of people in the world do because of food shortages, and it's just, getting used to that is really, you feel like, oh, I'm really depriving myself, and it's just, that's a strange thing to get used to as well. But you overcome it, and you wake up in the morning and you're not even hungry. You forgot that you were hungry going to bed.
What's really strange is that we feel that going to bed is hungry is such a weird thing. But people take medications all day long and go to bed like woozy or whatever the drugs are doing to them, and not really think anything about that.
I know.
But to go without anything for even 24 hours, they're like, "Are you crazy? I can't do that." Just doing the Master Fast, people, you're not going to eat for, for 15 days? No, I'm not going to eat for 15 days. Oh my God, I could never do that.
I was going to die.
Yeah.
Right.
Even doing a 36-hour dry fast, I'm going to die. You have to eat. Yeah. You have to eat 3 meals a day. Are you crazy? No, you don't.
And a lot of them won't believe you after the 36 hours is up.
Oh, yeah.
You must have. I wasn't with you the whole time, so you must have done something. But the truth is that when you eat solid food, the body has to liquefy it to use it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So all we're doing is we're skipping the solid part, and the energy is going to heal our body, basically, right?
So that's my question too, Mark. I was talking with Darcy. I don't know if you met her at Level 2.
I met Darcy out there. Yeah, she's great.
Yeah. She might be coming to see me in the next day or so.
Really?
Oh, awesome.
So, we'll see. But anyway, we were talking about this And oh dang it, I lost my train of thought. What did you just say, Gary?
We were talking about fasting and people's reactions.
Shoot.
No.
Juicing. We were wondering, what, because Dr. Morse isn't a big juicing fan, and I guess I'm curious, why? Because that, for me, was like a huge catalyst in letting my body rest when I was so at my worst. And so, do you know why his take is on that?
Well, I think no, he's a real fan of juicing. Are you talking about green juices?
I thought it was
He loves the fruit juices. If you can get to that level, not everybody can get to the juicing level is really a high level because there's no fiber there,
But I
to
thought
slow down the process.
I think it was more that he wants people to eat the fruit in its natural state versus juicing, or are we completely off? Is that?
Well, I think that, yeah, I mean, during detoxification, it's, I always tell people, you have the accelerator pedal and you have the brake pedal. It's up to you to know, when to hit the gas and when not to. So, of course, the highest level of detoxification is going to be the astringent fruits, like your orange juice, your lemon juice, and even your, grapefruit juice and things like that, and even your grape juice. Without any fiber in it, without any pulp, that's super, super high detoxification. And so actually, yeah, when you have the whole food, it actually is a level down in detoxification. Right. Now, can you handle all of that, fruit sugar coming at you? And, unless your adrenals are strong, yeah, that's a question that you have to answer. Okay. But, yeah, he's a fan, just, it depends on you. What your levels of sugar metabolism are, and what your levels of what cleansing levels you can, because you're going to, of course, unleash a hellstorm of acids if they're built up with that kind of stuff. So yeah, he just wants you to be careful and get up to the levels you're prepared for, and not hurt yourself. Right. We want to see you in for the long haul. We don't want to just see you do this and go, oh my God, that was horrible. I was headachy every single day and my body aches, couldn't get out of bed. I was, right. My kidneys were killing me. No, we don't want that. Slow and steady wins the race unless you're really, 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 in trouble. Yeah. Then you got to bite the bullet and do what you can. But yeah, no, he wants you to love yourself and enjoy the process, because it is really an amazing process when you think about it. When you actually let that healing in and let that clarity in, it's unbelievable. It really truly is. Yeah, amazing. I just had, I don't know if you guys saw, I just posted, I have my Monday night thing, and we had Regina Contreras come on, and she had a very aggressive breast cancer. I think she called it a triple negative, and it was, the doctors were even afraid to treat it. They're, oh boy, we just don't have success with this, and all that. But she got turned on to Dr. Morse. Her husband did a lot of research and found Dr. Morse. And they went out and did some level 1 training and all that. And she's had some amazing success with the Dr. Morse protocols and doing the dry fasting. And I think she said it shrunk from 6.8 centimeters down to 1.6.
Wow.
Yeah. And she's added, of course, the dry fasting and of course the black salve. You guys know about the black salve?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, she says the tumor is soft, really soft and pliable now, and it's just ready to pop out of the body. It just wants out of that alkaline environment. It's ready to just jump. So she was such an inspiration. She basically said that the real healing kicked in for her when her belief system turned around. In the beginning, she was really doubtful. Her family was really doubtful. They were not unsupportive, but they were really worried, and they weren't coming from a place of love and faith. And when that all turned around, the healing really kicked in for her. And you can just hear it in her voice if you go onto my YouTube channel, listen to her. You can hear the joy and and just the healing has really come into her. And it's almost a spiritual thing when the healing kicks in. That's been my experience.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Gary, with the ayahuasca? Did you have a spiritual
I was the oldest guy there.
Yeah.
I
have the
was
same problem, yeah.
I was the detox king.
Right.
I went to the bathroom over 100 times in 7 days.
Oh, that's the one that you took, Gary.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And
I
so
knew I had heard
already-
about it. Yeah.
some deep cleansing work.
Oh my gosh.
That's the master blaster, we call it.
Master Blaster. Yes.
And it was amazing. I got to go to I call it the elders room. So when your pineal gland opens up, it was so amazing. You can hear the earth, but I was laying on the mat there, and it was at nighttime, right? And they had people walk around with flashlights once in a while, right? Well, this bright light, I had asked to go sit with the elders and just listen. And
were you with a tribe or some tribal shamans or
yeah, with a shaman. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yes, and the people that organize all that organize these for that shaman, he travels to different places around Colombia, and we were 3 plane rides, 4 hours through the jungle in a bus, then got on a boat and went around to a retreat. I mean, there was nothing. I mean, we had huts, and that was it. And we did 5 days of ayahuasca, and we did 5 days of Lakota sweat lodge.
Oh wow!
So at night we would experience the ayahuasca, go outside, lay down, and then just before daybreak they'd do a ceremony, and there'd be herbs and things that they would work us over with, and they'd be chanting, and then we would go for about maybe an hour to rest, and they would get the fires going and get the rocks ready for the sweat lodge, which I got to help build, which was very cool. We went out in the jungle and cut down bamboo trees and built the whole sweat lodge and everything. So we get in the sweat lodge, and you're in there for maybe 2 hours. It's so hot in there sometimes that when you breathe, it feels like it's burning your throat.
Oh, I did one. I almost died in that thing. Oh.
So I laid down on the ground a lot, because at the bottom, down next to the ground, it's not quite so intense. And then we'd walk out, and we were like 100 feet from the ocean. So we'd walk out and walk right into the ocean.
Oh, wow. That felt good.
Yeah, oh my God, it was amazing. And we'd come back, and they'd have breakfast ready and everything. But that pineal gland experience, this white light started shining. It was so bright, I thought somebody was shining a flashlight in my face. So I opened one eye, and then the illusion went away because it was totally dark out. So I asked to go back to experience the room of the elders. And this is where like all universal knowledge is. This is like the astric plane, right? And
oh, so it's not a physical room. It's actually a spiritual room that you went
to? Yeah,
it's
I think it's a room in your mind. You know, the mind has 1,000 rooms. Okay. And what's weird is I saw the elders, and they were a funny shape, but they were glowing.
So you saw entities, astral entities.
Yes. Okay. Now I don't remember anything they said or if they even talked while I was there, but that light was so bright, and I got a lot of when I first the first night I got a lot of lights zipping around in this kind of alien-looking piece of metal, and they were shooting through, and they're all different colors. It was quite an experience. And
did you get any kind of wisdom downloads?
Well, I went there because you're supposed to write something down before you go. So I went there, and what I asked for was to understand ancient plant wisdom
Mm.
and to be able to absorb that and teach it back to the world.
Oh, wow. Great, Gary.
And I mean, like, every day I get more.
Wow. Wow.
Yes, you do.
That's amazing. Wow.
You're so amazing.
So you're believing in the herbs more and more.
Oh, absolutely, yes, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I grow my own herbs.
Oh, you do? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
And-
sent me a dandelion tea, and his
Yeah.
tea is what got me drinking tea. I've
Yeah.
tried for years, and I'm like, Gary, I don't do tea. And I did his tea, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do his tea every day. And now
Great.
I'm doing tea every morning. So
Yeah.
It's great.
It's
I'll get the kidneys filtering.
yeah, cleavers, dandelion, that particular batch that I made, cleavers, dandelion, nettle.
This is a great lymphatic herb, yeah. And the
Yeah.
the nettles are great for the kidneys. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. So I had 4 in there.
To solve stones, right? The nettles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the marshmallow root is a special. That's what the last one was, marshmallow root. And the marshmallow root will go in and it will create a little, like a little gelatin around kidney stones and anything that's in the liver, okay, as it's healing. And it will soften them, dissolve a lot of them, and when they pass, they have that little gel around them,
Yeah.
so it doesn't hurt so much when it goes out. Because the liver doesn't really so much, but the kidneys will.
And it also is good when people have kidney pain, when they're detoxing too quickly. The marshmallow root teas are really good for that. Really soothes the kidneys.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
the slippery elm too, yeah.
So what was your experience with ayahuasca?
Very, very, very spiritual. I had gone because I was, you know who the artist Alex Gray is?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Beautiful
he did
work.
Those tool videos and all that, and I just loved his work. There was something about it which is really, interesting, and so I wanted to experience that because I heard an interview and he said, "Oh, I get all these visions on ayahuasca," and I said, "Okay, well," but I had no idea there's this whole spiritual component to it, and yeah, I'm going to really do a disclosure about it. It was probably one of the most life-changing things I've ever done. And I was actually, it's going to sound a little kooky, but I was actually called as a healer to help people heal.
not kooky at all, Mark.
A voice, not really a voice, but a message, kind of a telepathic download came in and told me I was a healer. Mm-hmm. And I said, "No, I'm not. What do you, come on. I'm the guy that needs healing." They said, "No, you're a healer." Yeah. And so basically, Gary, you know that the shamans control the whole energy of the plant medicine, right? So when they decide to do some really heavy sounds, then things get heavy, right? Yes. And they call them Icaros. They're sounds supposedly the aliens gave to the people and to the shamans. And so this guy started doing some really strange, dark sounds. And I tell people it's a combination between a didgeridoo and a Jew's harp. These weird, twangy, dark sounds. And the whole room went dark. And everybody started puking. Mm-hmm. I mean, they were just vomiting like the sounds, and as Gary will tell you, the sounds coming are really loud. Your ears are wide open. All your senses are just really supercharged, and it really sounded like I felt like I was in a World War II infirmary, and people were just getting violently sick, but they were cleansing. It's a cleanse. It's called La Purga. It's a purge. And it's actually, they call the ayahuasca La Medicina. It's a medicine.
It is a plant medicine.
Everybody was sick except me. And
you didn't get sick.
I didn't get sick, but I was feeling such love and compassion for everybody. My heart opened up.
Wow.
And the voice came back and said, see, you're a healer. You have compassion. You you have this healer inside of you. And I'm like, wow, I said, I see it. And so then a woman came across. She actually floated across the room, and she was a small, tiny woman. And she took over the singing, and she was singing like an angel. And she was wearing all white, and it looked like a spotlight was on her. She was radiating and glowing this unbelievably effervescent white light. And she walked over to this guy who was having a really hard time. And I looked at the guy, and this was really strange. His head was twice as big. He looked like he was 10 feet tall, and he had claws for hands, and he was retching into his bucket. And I said, oh my gosh, get away from this guy. Are you crazy? And this little woman came over, and she grabbed him and pulled his head towards her chest and started petting his mane, this monster mane. He looked like a monster, you guys. And the monster just calmed down and laid his head into her chest. And it was the sweetest thing I'd ever seen. And I thought, you know what, this woman she's a total angel. She's a saint. And that's what it felt like. The angel power coming off of her and the healing power coming off her was so strong, and it calmed this beast. And there were two other women in the group. There's about 25 people in the group. There were two other women in the group that were also healers as well, real angels. And they just came out, and they, in the normal daylight, they look like normal people, but during that setting, they just rose as healers. So it convinced me that, in this world, there are true healers out there, you guys. There's true angels walking among us that are here to help us heal. And, one of the messages I got was, this is a healing planet. We have come here to heal. And we're all suffering to some degree, either spiritually, emotionally, or physically. Most of us are suffering in all three levels to some degree, myself included. And that whatever we can do to help each other heal is our highest mission. And I really took it seriously. And that's why and a week later, you guys, now I've never disclosed this in public, but a week later, I was led to Dr. Morse. Two people separately said, have you heard of Dr. Morse? And I said, no. First person, I said, no, I never heard of him. Who is this guy? And then the second person, I said, yeah, I've heard of it. Someone else mentioned him. I guess I better look him up. And then I was instantly drawn to his ideas. So it was very, very powerful for me. Very, very powerful. It introduced me to the fact that I can help, and that there are other people right now helping, and to not be so judgmental on people. Some people are real helpers out there, and yeah. So
awesome! Wow.
So now we have to get Angie to experience it.
Yeah, get down to Colombia with the shamans, or Peru, and get down there. Yeah, and
do I have to go to Colombia to do this?
I don't know where are you still up in the Dakotas?
Yeah, I'm in North Dakota.
Yeah, I don't know. Just you have to look around and see. Shamans can travel around and come to different cities. Yeah, I just got to put the feelers out there.
And there is a church that distributes ayahuasca as a ceremony.
Yeah,
in America.
Santo Daime Church. The Santo Daime Church. Yes.
It's a much milder version because you have to drive home, but.
Yeah, I have worked with them, and it's a beautiful setting there. They have a very spiritual. It's done in a Christian Catholic type setting, but it's very syncretic. In other words, they bring in a lot of different religions, and I don't know if there's about 25 churches in the United States and growing. So
I believe so.
Yeah, you just have. I know there's one in Denver. There's one in Denver, and there's two in California. Two in Southern California, and a bunch in Northern California, and several in Oregon. There's two, I believe, in Portland, and one in Ashland. That's the main church of the U.S. in Ashland. So,
New York has one. I think Virginia has one. So that's an East Coast kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you just have to do a little research, but it's yeah, you might get messages that you never knew in the downloads. Yeah. So it's really something. But I just tell people don't go unless you're called to it because it's really not for everybody.
I looked for 5 years before I found it.
Yeah, I did a lot of searching on YouTube. That's how come I knew I was being drawn to it. And yeah, so you just have to yeah, just see if it's right for you. You'll either be repelled or attracted to it. But it's a heavy duty experience. I mean, it's definitely life changing, as Gary will tell you. I mean, I was never the same after it. I really was never, in a good way though.
Yeah.
You know, called as a healer was the last thing I would ever be thinking.
Yeah, Terrence McKenna. Part of the thing is, a lot of things you don't remember because it is DMT, and we have DMT in us already.
Yes.
We get a shot when we're born. That's why we dream at night. We get a shot when we die. That's why our light flashes before our face. And so when you go down there and experience, it's more like a dream-like thing, and you can forget a lot of what you. It's in your. I believe it's in your cell memory now, even though you can't remember it in your mind. You're physically carrying that in your body.
Absolutely.
And it's probably right into the DNA.
Oh, absolutely. I felt, I don't know if you felt this, Gary, but on the first night, did you feel kind of an intelligence like coming through you and mapping you?
Oh, it was incredible. And I did have visitors. I did have visitors.
I think it's weird and cool. Like, I want to do it. But...
Oh, good. Yeah, right.
I was sitting in the chair, and in the room where everybody was gathered, and so I could feel his presence beside me, and I had made a friend down there, and I thought it was him sitting there. And I looked over, and it was like this 7-foot African man in this bright red robe and one of those little round hats with gold filigree all over it. Oh, wow. And he was just sitting there. He was a lot bigger than I was. And he was just sitting in the chair, and I was looking at him, and I was like, And I wasn't afraid. I wasn't. I just. Spirit. He was just there, and I closed my eyes for a second, and he was gone. And then somebody came on this side, and somebody came on that side again. And then somebody came up to me and said, you know, you can go outside and lay on the mats. And because everybody was gone, I was the only one there. And I was like, you're kidding me. There's mats. So
the guy in the red was a spirit?
Yeah, they all were. They all were. Except for the person that came up and said, you can go outside and lay on the mat. So they guided me out, and I found a mat right next to the valve, actually. And but my experience with the puking, because it didn't happen until about the third day, so I thought I wasn't going to. And it was very familiar to me. The taste of the ayahuasca was very familiar. So I'm laying there, and all of a sudden, it was like you took a bottle of carbonated liquid and you started shaking it up. It was going. It was like it actually growled. It was like, and all these bubbles were coming up, and it was a massive release of whatever that was. But it was very loud and very guttural, and
like a roar, like an animal roar.
Yeah. And it happened like 5 times. And each night after that, it got a little less and a little less, and then whatever it was gone.
Wow. Yeah, you probably shook off a demon. You probably had
an
entity that was hitchhiking on you. And you got rid of it. Yeah. Wow.
All right, boys. Sorry, I have to cut you off because I got to get flying to work. But thank you so much for being here, Mark. This was awesome. Love having you.
What a great talk. We could have kept going for another hour.
I know. This is awesome.
Warm enough.
So any last words you'd like to, Mark?
Yeah, I just like to say, you know, that this natural healing thing is real for everybody, and you know, it's so powerful. You know, there's just and like we were just talking about, you know, that there are forces, invisible forces out there that are trying to heal. You know, I think that these forces are kind of like, I call them the Maytag repairmen, because the Maytag repairman's always bored because nobody calls. We just have to call in these forces, and they're ready to help us. So I know that sounds kooky, but prayer and just believing and calling in the healing is so powerful. And Regina was talking about it. We all talk about it, and just open up the body to this the divine healing forces by cleaning out the obstructions that we put in by eating all this mucus acid forming foods. And we can clean it out through the herbs and through the detoxification process. And now with the fasting and dry fasting, we can clean to such deep levels so this energy comes back into the body, and we just we feel so good. And who knows how long we can go like this. I think we're tapping into some longevity and health that the planet has not known for a long time.
Fantastic. It's right on.
Yeah.
We're coming back to test you or to interview after you're done running this next fasting.
Hey, anytime you guys want to get an interview together, I love talking to you guys because we go to so many good places. So I'm here. Yes. I'm here for you. And right. So you guys take care, and thank you so much for spreading this word of detoxification and natural healing.
You as well. Thank you.
All right.
So our last interview was February 2nd.
February 2nd. Yep. Okay. Wow. So we are coming up on a year. Wow.
Interesting. Wow. Okay.
And Stella came to say hi.
Hi, Stella.
Hi. All right, boys.
All right.
Bye.
All right.
Have fun, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.